So there we are. Recording now. So yes, so welcome to Darryl Bates-Brownsword. He's one of the most accomplished business people I know. Some of the stuff he does in terms of his exit planning is really interesting. Darryl, 10 minutes, possibly longer depending on how I'm feeling, and how many good jokes you crack. Please do remember you are live on Channel 4, so please do not swear. Okay.
So you're asking an Australian straight off the bat not to swear. Good luck with that. So look, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Succession Plus, and thanks, Alan, for asking me to share. What we do at Succession Plus is we work with business owners to help them get the most of their life's work by having a succession and exit plan, get them ready for exit so they can leave on their terms. Now, I'm thinking of the audience here today, and I'm wondering, I might do something a little different than just, banging on and sharing about our product and what we do to help business owners. And I thought I'd have a crack at trying to make it a little more relevant to you guys. So I'm going to start with asking for a bit of audience participation, and I'm going to look over here to my second screen if you see me looking away, because I'm looking for your response. So if you can show your hands and go, and raise your hands if you dream of the concept, if it would be an ideal for you, if when the time comes where you want to wind back from working on a day-to-day basis, that you had something that you could sell. And I'm not necessarily talking about, being able to sell a business, because, some of us are self-employed and one-man bands. But if you could sell something when it comes time to step back, raise your hand and let me know if that would be a dream scenario for you guys. Yep, so a couple of you. So I'm talking to about a third of the room today, and the rest of you, this may be, what I've got to share may be relevant to the clients that you're working with. So one of the things that I've learned is working with businesses over time. The market I'm talking about is, I work in mid-market business. So all of my experience is working with businesses that are, gone through startup, and they've got to above about £1 million to £2 million in revenue. And they're focusing, and they're sort of 2 to 50 mil revenue is the bracket that I work in, and is where all my experience is. And what I've noticed, especially in professional service type business, where we're providing a service to clients, is that we're often asked to provide a solution and come up, and we're trying to charge for the value that we bring. Now, how many of us are getting in there and we're wanting to charge for our solution and charge for the value we bring, but we find the market is putting pressure on us and they're asking us to charge or price our work by the hour? How many of you feel that you're being pushed into hourly type charging? Absolutely. So this is something that I studied and I've been working with for years with business owners, because the market's out there, the education is saying, hey, look, you need to charge value, you need to be solving problems, you need to be finding solutions for clients, you need to address their pain and what have you. And yet the market, whenever we go there with our solutions, the market pushes back and asks us to go, well, how much do you charge a day and what's your hourly rate? And it's just such a massive disconnect. How can I charge for the value when I'm being pushed back into a commodity pricing type arrangement? And what we've learned is that the way to do this is that we need to demonstrate it right at the point of sale that we're not charging for time. And the way that we do that is that we need to demonstrate to the client during that sales process that we understand what they do so well, we are so experienced in it, that we've been able to model the process. Because what most of us are doing by default is that we're going to the client and we're going, yes, I understand the problem. I've done it 1 million times before. I'm really experienced this. I know what to do. And we're sort of trying to convince them based on our experience that we've just got all of the knowledge on how to solve the problem. So we're going, yes, I can do this. I've done it 1 million times before. Pick me. And that sales process sort of correlates to the hourly rate pricing solution. So when we're presenting pick me because I'm experienced, the client's natural response to that is, well, then it's going to be an hourly rate. So we need to give them a different experience at the point of sale. And that's where we need to really come up with a solution. And the solution, best way to demonstrate a solution-based sale is to have some IP or have a model or a framework and go to the client, hey, Mr. Client, we know how to fix this. We know how to solve this problem for you. We've done it a million times before. We've been able to model it. And let me show you the model we use. So you map out the model, you engage them, and the model demonstrates to them that you really understand what's going on, and you understand it more than anyone else who's just saying, pick me, I'm really experienced. And now when you're showing the model, this model we call your IP. And the IP, now they're now buying the IP, or they're now buying the process from you rather than buying your time from you. And because you've got the model and the process, it enables you, it becomes the catalyst to change the conversation from an hourly rate to a solution-based pricing. And I think that's where most businesses are missing a trick or an opportunity that I've seen in the marketplace when trying to move from hourly-based selling to solution-based selling. And when you've got this IP and this model that you're working with the client, the model actually adds value to your business if it's a business you're running, or you've got this proven process based around the IP and the model that gives you something to sell when it comes time to step back, because you've got a proven process that you can train people to use, and it isn't reliant on the person or the individual. So I thought I would set that up around building some IP in your sales process.
Darryl, I'm a bit concerned we're 5 minutes through and you've gone through one slide. So just...
I don't have a million slides. I was just, that's
warning.
okay, Alan, don't be concerned.
Okay, lovely.
I'm just transitioning. So we've got our own IP, and what I was going to just move into now is to go, look, there's the background. You've got, if you had IP, then that would enable you to take your business to the next level. And I was just going to give you a demonstration around the IP that we use in our business to work with clients to build their succession and exit plan, because when it comes, most people don't realize that you need a succession and exit plan, and how the succession plan will help add value to your business when it comes time to leave. They just go through, and there's, what some people do is they go, oh, well, I've got exit planning in place. I know who's going to take over the business. Now, exit planning and succession planning is a whole lot more than just having your eye on the next person. So here's the process that we use, and hopefully it will, the slide will change for you. So we've just got this framework that we call the 375 framework, and Alan, I can give you confidence that this can be the last slide to stimulate conversation with people. But the 375 framework it's a framework, and it's a piece of IP, and you can share this with the client at the point of sale, and it demonstrates that you understand the situation better than most, rather than just talking about it, because you're now talking to the model. And it just starts off with going, hey, look, there's 3 different options that most people aren't aware of. And there's a number of different options. And the first thing you need to do to understand your succession plan is determine the right option for you. And then once you've got the right option, and you can then, that enables you to have a conversation around all of the various options and raise their awareness of the different options. You then have a conversation around, okay, so the next area, once you've decided the right option for you, you've then got the 7 value building levers. And just the name captures their attention. And the 7 value building levers demonstrates how you add value, and the 7 key ways that a buyer or an investor, business investor, looks to see where the value is. If you know where the value is, then you can put that into your business, and it adds value rather than just profit, or on top of just profit. And then you've got the 5 stages of implementation. It's only valuable if you implement it, you take the risk, you implement these things into your business, because you need to spend some money investing in your business to make it worth more. It's a bit like putting an extra bathroom on a rental property. You'll get more rent from it once you've invested in putting that there. And then we've got the 5 stages of implementation, which is, it's only worthwhile if you go ahead and implement it. And implementation takes, anywhere from 12 months to 3 or 4 years. And so it's just a nice, simple model. It's something that will be remembered. The trick with IP is keeping it as simple as possible so that it can be remembered. And you want the client to go have the response of, ah, it makes so much sense now that you explain it to me like that. So that's the extent of what I wanted to share with you, to just keep it down to 10 minutes and just sort of present the idea that every business, and especially service-based businesses, can have IP out there and it will add value to your business. And I guess the discussion point from here is, how do you identify the IP in your business to take your business to the next level? And I just wanted to use that example of, it can work in succession planning, it can work in any service-based business. How do we make it work in your business? How do you make it work in your business?
That's very good, Darryl. That's amazing. So what were the 3 succession options?
You can, the 3 options are, what most businesses do is, if they do nothing, the first option is, or group of options, is the fade away. And that's when you become irrelevant in the marketplace. You haven't invested, your product is now obsolete, or you haven't got any succession options and you gradually fade away. And it's only 40% of businesses that go to market that actually do sell. So fade away is a big risk. The next option, or the next group, is what we call the gradual step down. And that's when the owners go, look, we've taken this business as far as we want to, we're satisfied, we've got the option now for the next people to come in, and we gradually want to step down from income, we gradually want to step down from ownership, and we gradually step down from control. And the third option is what we call the step up. And that's when the owners have built their business, they're established, they've got a great foundation, and they go, yeehaw, look, we've got some energy, we want to go all in, we want to create this massive opportunity, we want to crank this baby up, we'll get everyone involved, get advisors, get all the right advice, invest in it, crank it up, really scale it up, and then we'll all get out in one fell swoop. So we'll go to a VC, or we'll list it, or something like that. So step up, step down, or fade away.
Okay, lovely. And then right, the other 2, we can deal with those on another time. Okay, any questions, peeps? Any thoughts?
The next slide, Alan or Darryl, looks really interesting. Are you able to just click on the next slide?
That's just the more detail. So that's just about the 3 options. So I was just trying to keep it contextual today to highlight what's available. So there is detail behind this for the 375 framework, and all those other frameworks are just the detail behind it. Once the client or the prospect engages and says, oh, tell me more about that.
Okay.
So it's a bit of bait.
Have you got a podcast that goes into this in more detail?
It's almost as if I set that up, isn't it? I didn't set that up, but yes, I do. We have a podcast that is called Exit Options or Exit Insights, and we've gone into heaps of detail on all of these.
Okay, lovely. Why don't you send me a link to the podcast, and then I will circulate that around the mailing list, and that will help us to refer to you more. The other person you need to meet is Dominic Marlowe, who's a business broker who a lot of us know from networking. He is.
Dominic and I are already in conversation.
Lovely.
From meeting at an earlier one of these meetings.
Okay, wonderful, brilliant. Okay, right. Okay, let's whiz back
Alan,
to breakout.
thank you so much. I've got to go, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Okay,
Thanks,
so question, 60 seconds, people, and then what's your why haven't you got an exit plan if you haven't? Okay, so I'm going to recreate all rooms, open all rooms. Let's see what's happened. Andy Hall, can you be chairman? And Chris Badger, can you be chairman? And away we go. Justine, you need to join breakout room 2, hopefully. Bullseye.
having an actual model like this. I've been mulling it over because James has a model for how he evaluates his clients. So he scores them and draws a plan which shows them where they're strong or weak. And I've been trying to work that into how we manage people from a technology point of view. Where are they strong? Where are they weak? Where have they got real issues? And map it out. So I think this is good. Triangles are an important factor in what we do.
Yeah. What we find is that when we explain to people that because of the type of service that we provide, it's, I say to Donna, my colleague, that if we start accepting clients that want to pay peanuts, they're the type of clients we're going to always get. So we really, really up the ante this year. It's our 4th year of trading. I think we actually upped the ante last year. So we were saying to people, you're 250, 300,000 pounds in debt. I'm charging you X amount in fees and you're never going to have to pay the 300 grand or whatever it is. And you're moaning about me charging you 20 grand. Like, that if we explain it like that, it seems to be thinking more in than we hadn't even thought about sort of talking about it like that for the last 12 months. We've been saying that, and it's people are kind of like the light bulb just goes on. So that's worked really well for us. And then we say, if you do it on an hourly basis, it's going to cost you X, or we reduce it by 10% if you do it on a fixed fee basis. And it kind of 9 times out of 10 seems to be working. So, it's good stuff, really.
I'm afraid I have to leave, everybody. I've got a meeting at just after 11, so terribly sorry. But yeah,
Nice to see you, Chris.
Yeah, sorry, Alan. Okay, see you soon.
Bye, Chris.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Any other thoughts, Peeps, before we go back to the breakout room?
Well, I mean, I've decided the step up is what we want to do over the next 5 years, and whether we sell the business as a going concern then, or I hand it over to my sons to run, is a decision for them. But if we can build and grow the business into a sustainable entity, then we have choices. So I think that's key. But this is, I think, a better way of explaining what we do for people. Because we methodically have gone through businesses and groups of businesses and resolved their issues department by department or business by business, and brought them up to a higher level. And the senior management can see how we've changed their business for the better and made them more resilient, more efficient, more effective, and they can grow because the IT solutions that are in there will work, whereas they were failing and they just left them to fail and gradually die. So we've rejuvenated their business and allowed them to work well through COVID and other things like that. And that, I think that's what we have to somehow get into a picture of how we can impact a business in amazing ways through the right technology and the right advice. So we've got to go.
Yeah, indeed. Yes. Lovely. Okay, let's go leave breakout room. There we go.
Actually getting back. Where's everybody else gone?
Yeah.
Hello? I'm here.
Yeah, Ted's come back. Breakout room is still talking, so you can tell.
Oh, sorry. I'm new to all this technology stuff.
You've been meeting before, Ted. You're doing very well if you haven't. So yeah.
Yeah, well, it's an age thing, you know. I'll be all right when I reach 50.
Lovely. Okay, peeps. Any quick feedback, and then we'll draw the meeting to a close. So, any comments about what Darryl had to say, or in the breakout rooms?
Yeah, really, I find it quite interesting. I'm going to go and listen to his podcast later. So
That would be good, yeah, to hear the podcast. Okay, peeps. Well, that brings us to the end of our hour. I'll stop the recording.